You are an active fund manager, Jinesh. You are an
Yeah.
active fund manager. So, but in the recent past, with a lot of newspaper articles that you can save so much money, you know, millions of money over a period of 20 years, 30 years by getting into
Yeah.
passive funds or ETFs, whatever you call. So there is a general tendency feel with the retail investors that if they invest in passive funds, they can save a lot of money and
Yeah.
make lot of money. In turn, make lot of money. What is your thought process to give them an answer in this regard?
Sure. So I think we should not ignore it. Uh, as a fund manager, also I should not be ignoring that wave. And at the same time, from an investor perspective, also it is one of the product available to you, which is a low cost product, right? Uh, uh, to answer this question, I think we should not ignore this wave. But at the same time, I would say India is still, let's say, 5, 7 years or maybe even 10 years away, because our markets are not a developed market. There is a price discovery which plays a big role in terms of investing into the company. The Nifty constituent itself are changing very rapidly. So, so I think if you take last 10 years, the Nifty returns would have been at 8-9% CAGR,
True.
whereas some of the good fund houses would have still delivered you, let's say, 12, 13, 15% kind of a CAGR. If you really take Nifty constituent, 10 years back, oil and gas, industrials, infrastructure, telecom were heavy part of the indices. And after 10 years, you have financials and something else as larger part of the indices. I don't know what will be next 10 years, but I can just say if you miss out those stories, if you would have missed out the financial rally in last 10 years, you would have missed out big part of your gains. So what I would suggest is, uh, of the 100, it is always good to put 10-15% in ETF or even 10% in ETF, because it's we should not ignore that product. So it is one of the product, right, at the end of the day. But
True.
I think India, you see, India is still not developed world. There are many companies who are mid cap in nature or small cap in nature can become part of Nifty indices. Likewise, how you would have seen many companies like, I'm just giving an example, the recent additions are Sri Cement or HDFC Standard Life. They are all become the part of the market. So from an active perspective, my job is to find those next Nifty 50 companies which would be part of Nifty, because that is where the delta of flows will come. Because if you go right in your assessment of the company, that company becomes from mid cap to large cap,
Mhm.
eventually it become part of Nifty, and that is where ETF flows will also make those stocks higher and higher. So I should say, to stay in the game, you should be eyeing for a Nifty 50 stock, next Nifty 50 stock, which can be part of the indices over a period of next 3 to 5 years. And that is where India being land of entrepreneurs, you will have many more themes coming in the market. You will have many companies becoming darlings of the market. There will be rotation in some of sectors. There will be, for example, again I'm saying, there might be some of the pharma companies which were dogs suddenly becoming part of Nifty again. So I'm just saying, because our Nifty constituent itself are changing, for an active manager, the role is to find next Nifty 50 company, so that the ETF flows are with you and they take stock prices higher and higher, because it's a passive money. It doesn't see fundamentals, it doesn't see anything. It just comes and buys and sells whenever the flow, whenever there is an outflow. So for me, it's a better story, I would say.
Sure, sure. Good. So now to sum it up, generally still you are saying there is good juice left for an active fund manager for an active
Yeah, yeah,
fund
yeah.
to perform
See,
better
we
than.
are a developing world. We are not, everything is price to perfection, I would say. There is lot of themes which will come into the market. Frankly, if you really see, we don't have any big technology theme in the market, except for few tech companies, and now one of the large company becoming an internet company. the entire tech or internet wave or a platform wave is not available in India.
True.
So can there be some companies like Zomatos of the world or Policy Bazaars of the world can get listed in the market? Answer is yes. And can they become scalable? Can they be part of Nifty? Answer is yes. Because those companies have a lot of scalability, and obviously you would have seen some of the valuations which they are getting in the unlisted space. Let's take an example of Byju's.
Mm.
Recently, they got valued at $10.4 billion. Means
Wow.
10.4 billion dollars is not even not all Nifty 50 companies are having those market, or not everyone is having that. So, and they can easily become very large part of Nifty indices as well.
Yeah. True.